So I'm here with Summer Parks. She is our chorus teacher and our choral director. And I just had a question for you with COVID and all of the restrictions we have right now. How are you handling classes a little differently?
We had to make a lot of adjustments because normally we sing most of the time. That's kind of our deal. So now if we sing, we have to sing outside, super spaced out with our masks on. And if we're inside, we have to be in a bigger space. So we made that adjustment. We also have just spent a lot more time with kind of more fun projects and research kind of things and discussions. So we do more like concert evaluations and song recommendations and things like that that our students kind of identify with and get to talk about with each other. We also do more project-based stuff, so they get to kind of create songs and rhythmic ideas and a lot of more improv and response in that way. And we always play games, but we've had to adjust a lot of the games that we play. So we've put some on the back burner, and then a lot we've just kind of adapted for COVID-friendly out of that necessity. But yeah, and we've also done a lot more discussion-based things too, where we get to research more of our music and kind of unpack what we're hearing and how we think about music. And our classes seem to really enjoy that so far.
Well, good. I know that I got a chance to come out and see your kids in action outside one day, and it was very exciting to watch. So, but anything that you think that the kids are really enjoying about it, even though we're in this situation?
We've just found a lot more really fun and cool resources online that we can use, whether we're in person or not, when we're like building projects and how we kind of respond to each other and can create little videos when we're communicating. So I think we're going to keep a lot of some of the project-based stuff that we've done, because a lot of my students, like for example, we do this song maker project and we've adapted it so many different ways now, because they requested to do it more, just because there's some really cool resources out there that we might not have found otherwise. So that has been one positive I think that we'll keep throughout next year.
Well, good. I like to hear something positive about all of this. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Oh, here goes ready. Michael Harris. All right. Ready, here we go.
Okay, so we're here with Miss Presley, our theater department teacher. She's over our theater programs. And my question for you is, how have you had to adapt your teaching to fit the new COVID guidelines placed on us at this school year?
So the biggest thing we've had to cut out is doing full productions, because we can't have students on stage really close together, which is a lot of what our full productions entail. However, with the classroom stuff, we have not had to change really anything that we've done. Every project and every performance that students would normally do in the classroom on stage, they are able to do at home through a tool called Flipgrid. And so through that tool, they record themselves, perform whatever performance criteria I have given them, whether that's memorization, whether that's movement, whether that's dance, whatever type of performance I've given them. They record themselves on Flipgrid, and then because they're all in the same class, they can watch each other's video and give critique just like they would if we were in the auditorium, where they would perform on stage and the students would critique from the audience. So really, from a classroom perspective, we have done almost everything exactly the same, just via technology.
Okay, that's awesome that the kids have the opportunity to do that from home. And then I
Absolutely.
did have a chance to visit your class the other day, and they were on the stage still doing some stuff.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about when your kids
So-
are in person?
Yes, so when the students are in person, we are able to rehearse on stage. We can do warm-ups on stage. Because our class sizes are still so small, because we're still split 50-50, they can spread out on stage, whether they're 6 feet apart. They can take their masks off and do a mask break for just a minute and do a full body warm-up, and we play games that are tactile, non-touching. So we do still do the things that we would do on stage here when they're in person. I try to schedule it where they're in person and they do their final performances on stage now, but sometimes that doesn't always line up, or students are doing some of their stuff at home because they've got circumstances where they can't come to school. So everything is as equal as we can possibly make it.
Well, it sounds to me like the kids can still have a good time performing even if they're not in the school building.
Absolutely. We do music, we do dance, we do movement, we do performances, we do monologues, partner scenes, all that stuff's still there.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
so
so much
welcome.
for your time, and keep us posted when we get to start seeing those shows again.
Absolutely.
Bring it around.
This is how we
Yeah.
warm up in the
Let's
theater
go.
department.
Bring it around.
They're bringing it around town.
Good job. All right. Now it's your feet, Crystal. All right, take your right foot, lift it about 5 inches off the ground. Find your balance and little circles. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So we're here with Tracy Humphreys, our band director. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good, pretty good. And we just had a question for you. Wanted to know how you've had to make some adjustments and how you've had to adapt everything with COVID restrictions.
Well, the biggest thing for us has been we're usually either in this room with hopefully a very large group of kids rehearsing every single day, or we're outside doing the same thing. And we've basically been limited in the time that we can spend together, the amount of people we can have together, and because of our face-to-face numbers, we really don't have the instrumentation to do a whole lot of ensemble playing. So we've had to get really creative, giving kids individual projects, or they're working in sections when a section can be created. And we've had after-school practices, but because of various conflicts and weather and such, we haven't really been able to do what we're used to there either. We have to play outside as much as we can because of the aerosols, or the air that emanates from the instruments. So one adjustment that we've recently been able to make is when it is necessary for us to be back in the room, we have special masks that allow students to put their mouthpiece in between, and also bell covers that keep as much of the air inside of the bell as possible, so that it's not spreading throughout the room. And then just keeping everybody spaced apart. So that's probably been the biggest thing. We're used to performing, and we're used to making music together, and it's been very different.
Okay, and so what is something that is, with all these changes you've had to go through, something positive that you've seen?
Well, even from the first day of band camp, even though our band camp went from 3 weeks to 2 days, just seeing the kids together and me getting to spend time with them and them getting to spend time with each other, you can tell it means a lot to them to have that social interaction with each other and to get a chance to play together and to do what they love to do, even though it's very different. I just really enjoy getting to see them as often as I can, and just really having some time to have some more laid back interaction and conversations than we usually would if we were getting ready for a performance. So that part of it's been really nice.
Well, good to hear. Thank you for sharing everything. And I know I really appreciated you letting me come out there and see what you were doing outside. Even though it is a smaller group, it's good to see that we're trying to keep it as normal as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'm here with Miss Walters, and she is in charge of our arts programs here, right?
Yep.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you've had to adjust your teaching due to COVID and how the kids are at home 2 days a week?
Well, things are a little bit different because art is so hands-on. I've had to make projects that can be done just in pencil, without the paint, without the colored pencils. I have tried to supply everybody that's come in with a bag of supplies so that if they are staying home, if they can't come in, for whatever reason, they do have some supplies. But I have some kids that just, haven't been in the building at all. So, some assignments that may be done in color, we just talk about doing it in different values in pencil and whatnot.
Okay. Have you had any positive experiences come out of the situation?
Absolutely. This strange year has been a delightful year as far as having so few kids in the classroom. I've really gotten to know some students that I've never met before. I usually bring in breakfast 1 or 2 days a week, for whichever crowd comes in. Have been some fun opportunities for us to do things that are not necessarily assignment based, but really just experimenting with things that we, can't normally do when there's 35 kids in the classroom. So it's actually been a lot of fun.
And speaking of non-traditional assignments, I did come in one day while your kids were working on a special assignment that you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the town of Marshville, Parks and Rec, reached out to me and said that they had developed an idea to sort of enhance the Marshville Park, and they wanted to. They got some funding, and they wanted to do a sign, in the park. That just says Marshville, North Carolina, and they decided to break it up into individual letters. And I've, asked me to get the kids involved. So my kids have my advanced kids have been able to pick a letter, and then they decorate, they paint it. We are using outdoor paint in their style, and however they want, they'll get their name on it. And it will spell out Marshville, North Carolina. And then we have two other panels. One will be wings, and one will be muscle arms, for little children to pose in front of. And again, these are all designed by the students themselves. I have nothing to do with it. They've just used their own creativity. It's been really cool.
That sounds really awesome, and I love that the town has reached out to us to have a community partner to be partnering with, so that's great.
Yeah, it's been really, really cool. I can't wait for it to be finished. They should be finishing up here in the next couple weeks.
Cool. We can't wait to spotlight it afterward. We can go to the park and we can take a picture.
There we go.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can get it as close.
Yeah. And then, so then the stem will go here, and then it'll come back out over here.